Hello everybody. So today I'm going to be making a video of my first time using a beauty blender. Yeah, so these have been out for quite a while, but I've just never wanted to pay the $20 that a beauty blender costs until today. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to tell you if it's worth the money because I usually use these Real Techniques. They're fucking awesome. Okay, so if you're like me, a cheap bitch, this is the size difference. Now, I just wet this one, so it's actually a little bigger. This one's dry, but pretty much the same size almost. This one's a little softer when it's wet than this one is. It's a sponge, but that's okay. We're gonna give this a try. Since I have fake tan, I want to match my neck, so I'm gonna be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect in 03 Light Beige and 05 Warm Beige. I love mixing, like, I have 4 of these foundations. I just kind of mix them all together based on how dark I am, and I love them because they're so full coverage, and I love full coverage. Actually got a priming sample from Makeup Forever, so I'm just going to use that to prime my face. Never used it before. It's probably not a good idea for a first impressions kind of thing, but we're going to work with it. Now, this is a smoothing base, so it's actually a really thick consistency primer, which I love because I have really oily skin and a lot of big pores, so luckily I was blessed to have a huge breakout on my forehead and chin, so we're really going to see how well this beauty blender kind of like covers things. I'm sure it won't be much different than the normal sponge that I use, but we will see. So when it comes to matching my neck, like I said, it's kind of like, I kind of just bullshit it, so kind of just hope for the best and just apply. And usually I lighten up a foundation if I need to with my concealer anyway, so it's not like super hard. I don't know if it's just me. I think I'm gonna try dipping this in my foundation just because that's how I see everyone else use them. I actually really like that technique, although I feel like I lose a lot of product dipping the sponge into the foundation, but let's just pretend we're as rich as Jeffree Star and we can afford that. I like this pointed tip. I usually like the flat ones, like the sponge, because I like to cover a bigger area, but this isn't bad so far. And now that I'm using it, it's great, but for $20, I don't know. I have one now, but like, I feel like if the Real Techniques is just as good, why spend the $20 on a sponge when you can buy a Real Techniques sponge and like 2 other things if you wanted to? But it does the job, and I guess I see the hype. Actually, just to see like what it does, I'm actually going to apply a second layer of foundation on my forehead just because it is really broken out. I'm really impressed with how this applies foundation. It's not very cakey. It doesn't look like it sticks to the skin in any certain area. Here's the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the lightest shade, I believe. I'm gonna use it to see how well it applies powder. I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I love this stuff. I like how you can like use the tip to like get it right in there. Oh, I love how precise this is. I like to get all the way down in the side of my nose because that's where like all my pores are. I'm like really oily, so I pretty much powder my whole T-zone. Just because if I have like a runny nose or something, I'm always constantly like rubbing my nose and stuff, so try and keep that foundation as long as I can, especially if I work all day. It's frustrating when I come home and half my makeup's already off and I didn't mean to take it off at all. Yeah. So I haven't even, I kind of just pushed the powder into my skin. It looks really nice. My skin looks really, really nice. Look like natural too. It doesn't look like I have like a ton of makeup on, which I'm sure my mom would like because she always thinks I wear too much makeup. So I'm gonna brush this powder off. I'm actually gonna do a little cream contouring with my secret weapon. It's the Wet n Wild contour stick in Where's Walnut. So sometimes I actually like to take a lighter and heat it up just so it blends a little better. I just don't know where the lighter is right now, which is weird because just a little bit. I feel like this is going to be a nightmare, but let's try it. Probably shouldn't have set my nose before doing a cream contour. Not surprising, me not thinking. So I'm just using the end where I didn't use the powder already because that would be fucked if I did it that way. It actually blends out pretty well given these circumstances. So I'm actually pretty surprised. I'm like really shitty at nose contour, so please don't judge. And then when it comes to my face contour, I just use a brush, so I'll do that. And so in conclusion, do I think you need to spend $20 on a sponge? No. It did its job, I understand, I like the point, but I prefer the flat tip, to be honest. It's a personal preference, so I mean, if you want to give it a try, go ahead. It's a sponge. You can always, you know, use a sponge, so it's not like it's gonna go to waste. I'm not gonna go out and spend another $20 on a sponge. I'll probably just buy more of these, but I'll still always have this. And I have tried the sponge cleaner from Beauty Blender, and it's amazing. Like literally, I can't, nothing's better than that. I just usually use like antibacterial soap. It's probably bad, but like, it's so good. So much for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. Yeah.